Hello and welcome to Homer for Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Today we will be reading from lines 51 down to 60 in Book 12 of the Iliad. It's kind of a brief passage today, but it's a good one as we turn to the crux of Book 12, which is some excellent speeches and some wonderful thinking about how to proceed in the battle. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. And his swift-footed horses dared not, but loudly they neighed, standing on the sheer brink, for the trench affrighted them. So wide was it, easy neither to overleap at a bound nor to drive across, for overhanging banks stood all about its circuit on this side and on that, and at the top it was set with sharp stakes that the sons of the Achaeans had planted. Close together and great, a defense against foemen. Not lightly might a horse tugging at the wheeled car get within that circuit, but the footmen were eager if they might achieve it. Then verily Pouludamas drew nigh to Hector and spake, saying, and we'll go on to that tomorrow. Let's do it in the Greek. Tolmon no kupodes de crementis donapakroi, kele fastotes apogarde dis atotafros, aure uot rupertorens geron uot pereisai, Reidie remnoi garaper refes peripasan, hestas anam patorothen huperthen des colopesin, oxesin re tus histas an vias acaion, pucnus cae megalus de ion andron eroren, ale oren, entu cen reahippus eutro con harma titainon, Espaie pes doi menoine on teleusi, der tote Pouludamas tas un Hectora parastas. Sorry, there's a pitch accent at the end. Great. So we mentioned this sort of at the end of the reading last time, which is that we have some great enjambment here, right? So we have these lines. So we ended yesterday's reading was the last two words were right? So you don't really neither did the horses did not. This is what that means basically grammatically. But then we sort of keep going here at the start of these lines is tolmon no kupodes malade. Tolmon or kupodes, right? So the horses were not daring, right, to with their swift-footedness, which is interesting because all kupodes is like sort of formulaic, right? But it's at the start of the sentence. Malade crementis don apakroi, right? So they're much, making their neighs at the edge, akroi, or muchly at the kele festaotas, right? So they're they're standing there at the sheer brink, as the translation has it, is kele akroi, right? And that also, kele festaotas, right? So that's on the next line, right? And then the next line after that starts eure. So coming off of the last line, the clause is after kele festaotas, apogarde disetotafros, right? So they're fearing the trench, line break. Eureia, so it's a wide trench, but that trench is noted as wide, after, like in the next line. So too with the following, and then the following lines. So the next one is redie, right? And then the last one is hestasanam patorothen, right? So we have basically like six lines of, or maybe actually it's properly 4 lines of enjambment, but I think you could add on lines 55, hestasanam patorothen, and then also the one after that, right? And the one after that, it's kind of the same, pucnus kai megalus, right? And the punctuation has been given here too, right? So it's basically like, we're like bleeding into the next lines, which is a great poetic function of basically conveying the excitement of the moment, which is, we're about to jump the trench, we're about to get involved, we're about to get into the battle here, right? And we're about to, show the Achaeans some serious business, right? The question is whether or not this is a good idea, right? And I guess the excitement about it is in a way a sort of revealing right off the bat that it's not a good idea, right? When you have to say like, oh, we're excited about doing this, right? Like for the Iliad, that sort of implies that you're about to receive a rebuttal, right? Which is that actually, the horses, they can't cross, right? And if the horses can't cross, then the Audistoi can't cross because the Audistoi are all in their eutrokon harma, right? So and it would not be easy, right? Esbaye, once again, in the next line, right? To cross over, right? And this also gives us some factual details about how big the trench was. So it was not big enough for for a horse to jump over it, nor for, to cross with the chariot, I guess. And it's something that only the footmen can go down into, right? And then maybe think about going and fighting against, but even that seems like a bad idea because it's guarded with this aleoren deion andron, right? Which is the aleoren is the sort of defense against destroying men, right? And that's where Pouludamas comes into play. Who some people say, and by some people I mean commentaries, say he's an invented character. He's got a very bland name. He's been mentioned once before in Book 11, but he's basically, the great destroyer, right, is going to counsel Hector. And we're gonna get to hear lots about the counsel that is given to Hector and what Hector actually decides to do with this counsel. That's for tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's passage, and I look forward to reading more next time. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day. Bye.